Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today I'll talk about the butterfly bush. As you can see, white butterfly just ran away from my Buddleia, probably disturbed by my voice or by my presence. I hope you don't mind my presence and my voice in this video. So my plant, the plant I show today in my video is the only Buddleia bush I have in my garden, and is a Buddleia Buzz Magenta. Buddleia is a genus of about 150 species in the family Scrofulariaceae, in the family of the figworts. It is distributed in the wild, the genus is distributed in the wild in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. The generic name is in honor of Adam Buddle, in English, botanist. Most species are shrubs up to 5 meters tall. However, some can grow up to the size of basically trees, growing up to 30 meters. Both evergreen and deciduous species occur, with temperate species like this one being mostly deciduous. The plants have leaves that are lanceolate in most species, as you can see here, and on my Buddleia they are born opposites. The plants are, the Buddleias are some of the most famous nectar producing plants, and they are pollinated by a variety of pollinators, including insects, as in Europe. However, in the Americas, hummingbirds are also some of the most common pollinators in Buddleia species. My plant, it belongs to the species called Buddleia davidii. That is the most commonly cultivated species, and indeed is also the species called commonly as butterfly bush. The plant can grow up to 4 or 5 meters, but usually we try to prune it lower in the gardens, because obviously we want to enjoy the beautiful flowers at eye level, rather than having a very leggy shrub and with the flowers confined at the top of the bush, of the shrub. The plant is also called as summer lilac or orange eye, and this is due to the peculiarity of the flowers that I'm trying to focus now. Hopefully you can see they have an orange center, and the external part of the flower instead is purple magenta in my plant. The plant originates from China. In particular, it is native to Sichuan and Hubei. That unfortunately Hubei is the famous in 2020 for being the most likely place of origin of the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. However, Buddleia davidii is also distributed in Japan. It is native to Japan. Buddleia davidii is named, the specific name Davidi is named after the French missionary Father Armand David, who was the first European to describe this shrub. Buddleia davidii also got the RHS, Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. And we have now another pollinator feeding on the plant. This looks kind of like a fly that is like a bee colors. I'm trying to focus. I'm not too sure if you can actually see it. Yeah, probably see it, yeah. I love this plant because really, if you like entomology or insects, you can really see a variety of pollinators in this plant. It's definitely one of the best plant you can get for doing your entomological observations in the garden. the richest award of merit was given in 1898, and also the plant received an award of garden merit in 1941. Buddleia davidi is a shrub with a arching habits that you can actually see at the very top. You see the stems, the kind of gentle arch. However, I try to keep my plant as compact as possible, so I usually prune the plant in autumn and again in early spring. The plant, also the shrub, as you can see, has a very pale grayish bark, and however the plant flower on the new year growth, as you can see, and the flowers really are produced in an incredible profusion. The leaves are opposite and lanceolate, as I said, and they are about 7 to 13 centimeters long. I like in particular the leaves as well, not only the flowers, because they are not the usual green, but they are more like grayish green, and actually match pretty awesomely my honey bush as well as my pineapple broom that are just in front of the Buddleia, as you can see, and also the Buddleia complement very well the butterfly bush and my pineapple broom, because it blooms between July and August, while the pineapple broom blooms mainly in June and early July, while the honeybush, well, it blooms instead in full winter, so obviously the blooming of these plants do not overlap. However, it is nice, they have a foliage color that kind of match with each other, and gives a kind of entrance effect to my the posterior part of my back garden, that is said is completely and very deeply green, thanks to lilies and the jasmine and the clematises. The plant produces flowers in inflorescences, as you can see, and that are racemes and are honey scented in panicles, and the flowers have color that usually are kind of lilac. However, they've been selected in cultivation with different colors, indeed pink, white, very dark purple, or like in this case like a magenta pink or magenta purple are also very common in cultivation. I like particularly, even if I don't have any space anymore in my garden, the variety called Black Knight. It's a very, very dark purple variety still with an orange eye, and is absolutely awesome. However, unfortunately I don't have any more space in the garden to have it, but still I love my Buddleia magenta buzz. It has a fragrance that is absolutely incredible. The panicles of the flowers can reach up to 20 centimeters in length. Today is the 29th of July, and it is basically we are going towards the end of the blooming season of the Buddleia. However, it still is still going well, because it has a few flowers still in full bloom, and actually some of the flowers still at the start of the blooming. So I'm sure the pollinators will enjoy this plant for a couple of more weeks, hopefully more. Buddleia davidi is a popular garden plant, as I said, not only because pollinators are incredibly attracted by it, but also for the fragrance. It has a very, very sweet fragrance, as I said, kind of honey scented, and it can really fill your garden. This is a plant that I can smell from the entrance of my house in the back garden. So, and the plant is here, so it is about, I would say, we are about, I would say 7-8 meters far from the plant, and I can already smell the plant, and it's an absolutely delicious smell. This is a plant that definitely is a must for both the fragrant garden and for the pollinator friendly, bee friendly or butterfly garden. It is one of the most versatile plants to have in a garden, and probably I can't recommend it enough. Except for one thing, there is a plant that sometimes can be a bit invasive, and I will get later about it. The plant is hardy throughout the UK. Indeed, it's hardy down to -20 degrees. So, and it thrives in USDA zones from 5 to 9. The younger wood is more floriferous, so that's the reason, because Buddleias are best pruned quite hard. I usually prune my Buddleia until about 80 centimeters from the soil, 80 centimeters, yeah, between 80 centimeters and 1 meter. And as you can see, the plants take it very well and blooming in a profusion of flowers. It's very important also to deadhead the spent flowers. In this way, the plant will produce more and more flowers and extend the blooming period. You can actually see that indeed I have deadheaded already some of the spent flowers. There's still some more spent flowers on the plant because this plant produces such a profusion of buds. You can still see here these are flowers still forming, and it is an incredible plant. It has a very long blooming time, about 3 months, up to 3 months indeed. The plant is the plant, when blooms, you can actually see that start blooming from the bottom of the panicle. I'm trying to focus again, and then the blooming proceeds until the top. You can see indeed in this plant that has most spent flowers. However, there's still a few flowers open in the terminal part of the panicle, or here again you can see this panicle is just started blooming now. Again, you can see the purple flowers with the orange eye at the bottom of the panicle, while the rest of the panicle, the flowers are still closed. This is extremely important for the pollinators, because in this way they have a useful supply of nectar for several weeks. The plant is very long-lived, and it is very easy to cultivate in the garden and in the UK in general. There are about 200 cultivars and hybrids, and really there is one for every of your garden needs, because there's also some dwarf varieties as well that you can easily keep in a pot. The plant thrives in well-drained soil, doesn't absolutely like waterlogged soil, and full sun. Can adapt to partial shade, but really the blooming is definitely better, as in my case, when can take direct sunlight for most of the day. It is a plant that I don't fertilize much, really. It can bloom very well even without fertilizing. Indeed, this plant, that's the reason, because also this plant tend to be so invasive. In the USA, indeed, most Buddleias are forbidden for cultivation, like the species and some varieties, because they tend to produce an incredible amount of seeds, and they will start basically growing everywhere. However, there are also some sterile varieties for the garden that are allowed in these countries. The Buddleia in particular is also quite invasive in the UK, and colonize very easily dry open ground, not only in natural areas such as, for example, near roads or in the countryside, but also I have seen often, I've seen Buddleias very often in, say, all the houses or all the masonry, and or on the sides of the motorway. It really needs just a few centimeters of kind of compost or soil, or anyway, even crevices where the seed can sprout and then can develop in a plant and is still able to flower in these conditions. It is such an adaptable plant that was called in the past as a bomb site plant, because it was one of the first plants to grow in sites that were bombed, and there wasn't absolutely anything else growing there. The plant is, as I said, it has an incredible fragrance, and my Buddleia Buzz Magenta is supposed to have a maximum height of 1.5 meters. However, this one, due to the fact I don't prune it very hard, I leave it about between 80 centimeters and 1 meter, as I said. This plant, reached about 2 meters high, and anyway, I still enjoy it very much, because this allows me to have a multitude of flowers for butterflies, bees, and other pollinators coming in the garden, as well as it provides a kind of support for the climbing honeysuckle and for the lilies that otherwise I would need to stake. Instead, I have to say that the lilies love to be in full sun, but still supported by the branches of the Buddleia. You can see these lilies have already spent flowers, and they are actually developing a seed pod, hopefully. This one instead is still in bloom. It is definitely a plant I would recommend for any garden, just to avoid the plant self-seeding too much and invade your garden. Remember to deadhead very well and regularly the plant, unless obviously you have a very overcrowded garden like me, because I have so many plants that basically little plants put so much shade under themselves that the chances of seedlings sprouting and developing full sides from Buddleias is very, very limited. I've never had any Buddleia in 3 years I'm growing this one coming up in any other part of the garden. This one I thought was sterile. However, when I deadhead some of the flowers, I noticed that they were actually developing some kind of seed capsules, but myself, I never tried to seed them, to plant them, so I'm not too sure if the plant is sterile. I didn't notice, I didn't find any information about sterility or fertility of the Buddleia Buzz Magenta, so I suppose this plant is actually not sterile, and unfortunately I'm not able to find any other seed capsule developing in the spent flowers I have at the moment on the plant. However, they look like small green capsules. So I hope to have not forgotten anything. Again, this plant is really great for British gardens, as well as in many temperate areas. Great fragrance, absolutely wonderful colors, and the Buddleias come in a variety of colors, and really adaptable to any kind of soil, as long as it is well drained and adaptable to partial shade, but better suited for full sun. This is a plant, definitely one of the best plant I can recommend for any gardener. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, it would be great if you can give a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, obviously give it a thumbs down, and it would be great if you can please put any comment, positive or negative, on the video. This way obviously I will know what you liked or didn't like of the video, and hopefully I will make the new ones better, and in order to please you better than sometimes I do. And thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.